Look at that sunset. The sunset that saved the blank. Welcome to another episode of CarpFishing.Tips. Please like our social media pages and of course subscribe to YouTube. This week we went through the 50 Rand Dam again here in Alberton, and we blanked again, but we thought we'd show what we used and what didn't work on this dam specifically. So here we are getting all our equipment out of the car. As you can see, the rod pod really helps with getting everything organized and keeping it together. Putting out our chair. We can even put our carp mat on the rod pod. Setting up our rod rest. Quite like it because it's although it's a beach fishing rod rest, it's actually quite cool because you can go quite high with it. So if you need to get over reeds or anything like that, you can always put it at the front of the rods and get it over the existing brush in front of the fishing swim. So here we are, putting in some full cream milk powder. We found that it works sometimes. It helps get a bite better. Unfortunately this week it didn't help much. We had a couple of nibbles, but we're not sure if it was crabs or if it was actually carp. So just mix up the milk powder before we put in water, and then add some water to it. As you can see, that's the consistency that the mini bomb should have. 2 millibomb to 1 water. The milk powder you can put in about a tablespoon or 2, and that should be enough. And here we are loading up our millibombs onto the rigs. We use Ritflay rigs, just compacting the millibomb onto the hook so it doesn't come off when we cast. We did have a bit of trouble on this fishing trip where our millibomb came off of the Ritflay trace a few times. So we've been trying to see why that's happened. Also, with it being so cold, the millibomb doesn't come off completely all the time. So we tried churro, which I think is musk, and from Detonator Dips, and white chocolate on this millibomb. And the hook bait we're using on this is the boilie we made using Catfish and Carp's recipe, which we'll link in the description below, plus some boilies that we'd made using a different recipe and soaked in FX and something else. Can't remember what it was. This is what the bomb looks like. So as you can see, that the pink one is Catfish and Carp's boilie. The boilie in the back is our homemade mix from some odds and ends we had lying around the house. An update on the CarpFishing.Tips on the catfish and on the cat and carp boilies that we made. They started to mold after 2 weeks being left out of the fridge or anything like that, or any kind of refrigeration. Even though it's been winter and it's super cold, they still picked up mold after 2 weeks. So they may need to be boiled a bit longer than what we did to keep them longer, or just refrigerate them or defreeze them. And on this one we're putting blow train and Tutti Frutti mealies on the hooks, and we put honey and cheese, I think. Oh, sorry, it's honey and banana on this boilie. on this millibomb. We also found that the one bad thing with the screw top bowl dips, so this is what the millibomb looked like before we launched it in. The one problem with the screw top bowl dips is that if you don't clean them every 6 months or so, or if they get very if they get a lot of syrup around the edges, you can't pop them open. So we went through all our bowl dips and cleaned them up. So just a note, every time you finish, every time you on the dam, just give them a bit of a wipe around the lip when you close them off again. And there we are, setting up the rods, making sure the line's tight, and putting on our bite alarms. And we've cast out more or less in front of the rods and to the left. As you saw in the image at the beginning, those are the locations where we cast them out to. We decided to change our tactic after a while, with no bite, about an hour with no bite. We changed up the red flare rig. I've had some luck with a bit of dough and a garlic float on the hook. I tried that on this millibomb. So I put mealies on the one hook, also blow train and tutti frutti. And garlic and honey dough on the other hook, again with some honey and banana. Oh, sorry, that's cheese and banana. And there you go, that's what it looks like. I think I also put some FX on it. That's what that brown liquid at the top is. And we cast it out again towards the left of where we are. Try to get as close to the reeds as possible because we thought there might be fish there. And we saw a couple of risers, to be honest. But we're not sure what was there, what was mulling around there. And this was our view for the afternoon. It was quite nice. It was a nice warm day. The water was super cold though. And then we decided to try a red flare trace. We went and bought, not a red flare trace, sorry, a zig rig. We decided to try a zig rig. We found two. One that was a quarter zig rig, which is 250 Rand, very expensive. And then we found some components that could possibly make a zig rig, which is a big plastic float and some foam, some cylindrical foam in different colors. I had already tied up the cylindrical foam on a hook with a hair rig, and I decided to try this and see. It's not the weather for it at all. Normally zig rigs are used in the summer when it's hot and when you can see the fish rising. But I thought, well, since the bottom bait's not working, let's see if we can find anything in the middle of the water column. And this is how we set it up. So what is the setup? The setup is that plastic float, and then we found their saltwater swivels. It's got a normal swivel on the one end and then it's got a clip on the other, so that you can put on weights. So the way you tie it up is you just take the line straight from your reel, put the swivel where the weight the sinker's gonna sit, and then put on this plastic float, and then put a swivel on the end so that it can hold everything together. And then you can just put up the zig rig with a leader. and we cast it out also. And this we couldn't cast out that far because of the rod. It must have been about 10 meters in front of us, and all we did was just pull it back till the zig rig was maybe 10-20 centimeters below the surface of the water. And that's our episode for this week. Thanks so much for watching. Please thumbs up, subscribe, comment below. Love to hear from you. And tight lines till next week. Have a great day.